You may have seen this thing on our Instagram, you may have seen it in the back of a couple of our videos, but you have never seen it like this today. We're showing you my dream E30 build. Let's do it. So this is my 1985 BMW 325i, and the first thing you notice about the car is the beautiful paint. This is a Quicksand 4v6 off of a Toyota. And I chose this color because it's cool, it's unique, it stands out, but it's not like a crazy, stupid, exotic color that's like, hey, look at me, I want like everybody's attention. We cut the rear bumper, modified all the door pods so that we could have the beautiful MTech 2 kit sitting on an early model car. So we get the raised rear arches, the smaller tail lights, but still the really cool plastic bumpers. We get the best of both worlds in this bitch, the Hannah Montana life. Come on down over here and check out my oh so beautiful wheel and tire setup. We got 720 style 44s, 15x9, 0 offset, and it's basically the widest rim we can run on an E30 without just having like a stupid stretch tire or an insane amount of poke. And for the tire, we got a Toyo Proxes 225 45/15, and kind of once again that best of both worlds where we get a little bit of stretch to appease you Stancy boys, but still enough meat on the tire that we can put down that good juicy power. Ooh, yeah. Now of course we've got to talk about my beautiful shaved engine bay. This was a whole lot of work, but so we deleted the battery tray on the passenger side. I replaced this whole upper section with just a new piece of sheet metal blocking the access to the blower motor and the wiper motor and stuff. But I did modify the bracket so that I could replace all that stuff from inside the car. Besides that, we just filled all the holes, smoothed out these bottom pans, and just painted it a nice crisp white to kind of accent the tan and the black, and it just really makes the whole thing come together as a beautiful car, because that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to make a beautiful car. Okay, so some other things we did in here. The skid plate is just a standard E30 skid plate, and it works really well with the LS motor, which is nice. The steering rack in this car is an E36 rack swap because it's a little bit more slim. It sits a little bit further back so we can sit the motor a little bit further back. And then we've got the hard steering adapter so that we don't have to use these big couplers. Will give us some more space for exhaust and power steering lines and all that good stuff. And then finally for the rad on this thing, it is just a Mishimoto E30 or E36 rad. It should be good for the V8. I've heard lots of people have used these before. And the only difference about mine is we welded a little 90 on it, and I think that'll help with just the final fitment of getting the water pump to line up with the rad. All this talk about the engine bay, but what about the engine that's going inside the bay? The 6.2 liter LS3, we're aiming for about 400 wheel horsepower, maybe a little bit more. And we're mostly just assembling it stock, nothing too crazy. We want to keep the power fun and manageable, and if we ever want to add more power, there's lots of ways because it's just a great platform to start with. So for the brake system on this car, we're doing the FC RX7 Big brake upgrade. So it's nice because it's pretty affordable and you get that good 4-pot brake calipers, and we're going to be putting on some new rotors. We need some adapter brackets to slap these bad boys on there, but they're going to give us that good clamping power to stop this speedy beast. Also on the braking system, we're going to be using the Wilwood manual master cylinder. We do not have space for a big booster with the size of this engine. So I've heard good things about this though. Apparently it's not that much harder than vacuum assisted brakes. So I'll let you know how that one goes. For suspension on this car, we went with BC Racing adjustable coilovers front and back, and that'll really give us that nice ride height and also just that super nice handling. In the rear, we've got the raised subframe bushings to correct some of the rear camber, and the diff mounts are both upgraded to poly mounts to hopefully stop some of that diff flex. And besides that, it's a mostly stock setup. Once the car's running and driving, I'll really start to tune in the whole system if we want to put in some new sway bars or just correct any of the old bushings. We'll see, we'll see. Okay, so for my diff, I'm using the factory E30 diff because it's real strong, can take a good amount of power. Only problem with it has a mounting gear just on one side. So simple solution, mount this bad boy on the other side and we can take a real good amount of power. For my diff ratio, I'm going with a 293. I did all the calculations with the wheel and tire size, the tranny ratios, and a 293 puts me at that perfect gearing where it's the same as like a 2010 Corvette. For the interior on this thing, we're going nice and luxurious. We're not going race car or anything. I'm going with front and back seats wrapped in a beautiful dark brown leather along with the door cards as well. And besides that, keeping it mostly stock but just a little bit of modernizing. So we've got the E36 Sport seats in the front. I like how they hold a little bit nicer than the E30 ones. So that is the basic rundown on my dream E30 build. Make sure to follow the journey on YouTube, so subscribe, and on Instagram, slam.bandit. Follow the build, follow my pain. And we've got lots of videos coming out for this car and also the Miata up there on the hoist. So stick around because this is going to be a fun summer.